Bonjour, ça va? For England, France today in the Six Nations, and that's as much as I'm going to give you of my French language skills, unless you want to know what my birthday is or the fact that I like to go swimming. England play France, obviously, tonight in a game where a lot is going to change before this game for the French, with obviously Ireland playing Scotland in the earlier part in the afternoon. Probably about 4.5 hours time as I'm recording this. It's about 9:40 as I record this. Um, when we look at obviously the Six Nations table, France being joint top on the standings with Scotland, obviously points difference being the key indicator here. Ireland are also lurking. So as much as the media have talked about Scotland and things like that, the Irish are sitting there going, great, the last time you did this, we went and beat the team that you guys are all harped as the best team in the Six Nations in England. We'll do it again. We'll go and beat the next team if you want, because the Irish have that ability to do so. Let's be real. It wouldn't shock me if they did win this. But obviously, England playing at 8:10 tonight away in France in a game where they need to show something that they've not shown this tournament. Quality. Simple as that. I was sort of going back and I was sitting there going, oh, they're going to get absolutely spun around. They're going to get absolutely lumped. They're going to get destroyed. And I went, what was the last couple of games like against France? And you do sometimes just forget. The last time these two teams played was the 8th of February last year, and England won by a singular point. Okay, the time before that, England lost in France by 2 points. So in the last two games, it's been settled by 3 points. So two teams that fight and scrap, and they are two teams that seem to match up fairly well. I'm not going back 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years. Just going back, last couple. France in this tournament, obviously starting off with quite a comprehensive pummeling of Ireland. Then another comprehensive beating of Wales. Beating Italy by 25. Obviously losing to Scotland in a classic. 50-40 is a classic. Great for the neutral who just wanted to catch a little bit of rugby and going, look at all these tries, look at all these points. Maybe not so much for the people that like defensive ability in rugby. But this is huge. So obviously, France are going to know where they're at come kick-off time, what they need to do, what needs to happen. Obviously, they know it's in their hands. France win. They know Ireland aren't going to lose to Scotland by 70. France win, they know they win the tournament. But there's always then that pressure that comes around as kickoff hits, like, hey, it's here now. We actually do need to pick up a result. Scotland did win, and we need a result, and we need this, we need that. Does that force some pressure? England are playing, ironically, with house money because of how poor they've been. I mean, the irony is they have a positive points difference, and it's better than Italy's, who are above them. Obviously, Italy play Wales in the second game of the three today. I think Italy are going to win that, not a problem. And that's going to be a hell of a tournament for them in the end. Obviously, okay, maybe they're not winning the tournament, but, sitting in fourth, if we win today, they're sitting, if Ireland lose, they sit a point behind Ireland potentially. So for England, it's about salvaging some respect. It's about standing up a little bit. The team that old Stevie boy has picked, Genge, George and Joe Hayes on the front row. Skipper, Maro Itoje and Alex Coles and the locks. Back row is Ollie Chesham, Guy Pepper and Ben Earl. 9 and 10 are Spencer and Finn Smith. Centres Seb Atkinson and Tommy Freeman. With wingers Caden Murley, Tom Roebuck and Elliot Daly at 15. Not a lot of changes. I was hoping potentially to see more. I mean, on the bench, it's very forwards driven. Yeah. I think, I made a video about the game that happened last, and I was probably quite strong on certain views. If I'm honest, I'm actually quite a positive person. If you're new, by the way, I am actually quite a positive person. I think I was just so fed up with the constant shooting ourselves in the foot that we'd seem to have done all this tournament. We're on the opposition's try line. This is the perfect place to commit a turnover. This is the perfect place to knock on. Oh, let's do it. It's driving me insane, these schoolboy errors. And I mean, look, it shows you do obviously some older cats in the group. Gen's 31, George is 35, Atoje's 31. I mean, Ben Earl's 28, but your number 9 is 33 years old. Your 15 is 33 years old. So there is experience in that group. You do have a lot of youngsters, a lot of guys who haven't got a ton of caps. You've got Guy Pepper with 11 caps. You've got Alex Coles with 18. You've got, Finn Smith with 15. Caden Murley's got 5. Atkinson's got 3. Tom Roebuck's got 11. There's not a ton of experience in some of these guys, and look, they may make mistakes. What I would say is the mistakes that you're making, though, aren't mistakes of top level rugby. You're making mistakes that you would see in the local game down the road, where the props are 55 and 60 years old. The number 10 is 45 years old and he played semi-pro. You'd see those sort of mistakes. And I think that's what we're all annoyed about as fans. You listen to Ben Youngs and Dan Cole, Austin Healy. You're listening to even non-Englishmen talking about the team, and it's just the amount of times they're saying they consistently shoot themselves in the foot. They consistently make schoolboy errors, which is a lot of it's down to coaching. But also, England aren't made to play from behind. They are made to get a lead, hold on to it, grind you down a little bit, and eke out that win. That's kind of how it feels under Borthwick a little bit. I do kind of hope they take the shackles off a little bit. I'd much rather lose by 20, having played some nice rugby and actually look like we can attack, than lose by 7 and we were never really going to get in the game. Because it doesn't make a difference losing, does it, really? If in our situation, it doesn't. But at least show something. I said, I don't want to see Finn Smith in this team. Is that fair to say that Finn Smith has given a good account of himself? No, I don't think he was very good. But also, in his defence, is he playing for a coach that's going to really get the best out of him? Also, no. I don't think the coach would get the best out of a Marcus Smith. Now, Marcus Smith seems to be the only back on the bench, which is peculiar. No wonder he's coming on to play 15, which is wow. Yeah, that is something. That's a sackable offence on its own. He shouldn't be playing 15. But no, in all honesty, go and show something today. Show some attacking intent. Okay, I won't even mind. I think last time out, I was annoyed because we were making such idiotic mistakes. Like I said, we're on the verge of the 22, so we kick it straight out of touch. It's like, what? You paid good money to play this game, and we're making mistakes like that. I don't mind it as much if it was, switch ball, switch field kick, we're trying something. Half the time, we're just kicking it into space and it's absolutely going nowhere. And yeah, let's stop this whole kicking game. Let's play for territory and things. Do you know what? Get the ball in hand and let's just play a little bit. Let's see what happens. Who cares? We're not winning Six Nations. But I think it's a good indicator for seeing some of these younger players that have got some talent, who are good ball carriers, some of them as well, Roebuck especially. Give them a ball. Let's see what they can do. If we play the same way that we've been playing all this tournament, we're not going to gain anything out of it. I do just hope for an interesting game where we actually stand up. Yes, we're going to have a fight. Yes, we're going to scrap. But we're going to try and actually play some stuff as well. I haven't really seen it all tournament that we tried to play some stuff. I've seen we're going to kick for corners. We're going to try and maul our way into a try. play. You got some good attacking backs there. Play. Let's see what they can do. I haven't seen it all tournament, and that's the one thing I want to see today. I want to know what you guys think today. Let me know what you think ahead of today's game. I'm interested to know. I'm interested to know what you think is going to be the scoreline. I think France are going to win. But I'm hoping for a result that we can all sit there and go, yeah, but we saw stuff today finally. Anyway, let me know down below. I'll speak to you all soon. Take care. Peace.